Joining us right now is the city controller for the city of Los Angeles. It's a pleasure to welcome back to the show, Ron Galperin. Good morning, Mr. Galperin.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
So, in addition to trying to pry those financial records out of Brian D'Arcy's mitts, you continue to do the rest of your job, which includes looking after the finances of the city of Los Angeles and examining how the city performs in various capacities. And one of the programs is the 311 phone system. We all know about 911 for emergencies, but the 311 system is there for basically everything else, to report potholes and down power lines and just basically things that need to be attended to. And what did you discover?
Well, the 311 system is used for everything from bulky item trash pickups to street light outages, building and safety requests, graffiti removal. And what we found was that, unfortunately, in just about every benchmark when we compared the city to the other cities and other places that we looked at, we were behind. Our hours of operation, for example, are just from 7:45 to 4:45 every day. That's 63 hours a week. That compares to 24 hours a day in most other places. Customer wait time was way higher than other cities, although that is beginning to improve in the city of L.A., but at the time that we looked at, it was very high. Abandoned calls, about 30% of calls were abandoned or dropped or hung up. Large number of transferred calls, and then on top of it all, the cost per call for the city of L.A. was well higher than our competitors.
Like how much higher?
Well, $6.30 per answered call for the city of L.A. We looked at, say, Sacramento was $6.13. The low was Houston, $2.79.
Do we know why that is?
Well, there are a lot of different factors. Part of it is a lot of built-in costs that we have in terms of overhead and the staffing. Part of it also is that the fewer calls that you end up answering out of the calls that come in result in a higher average per answered call.
I got you. The reason I ask is because one of the things that we learned from that big Daily News article about the DWP replacing power poles, or I should say not replacing power poles, where we ended up with thousands and thousands of them that are past their 60-year lifespan, is that it costs 3 times as much for the DWP to replace a power pole as it does other utilities. And at some point you have to wonder why does it cost $56,000 a year to put somebody in prison in California when the feds are doing it for 24? I mean, you can ask these questions, but this has a lot to do with why we have financial problems.
Absolutely. And it's not just the financial part, but it is, first of all, that we can measure, for example, what abandoned call rates are, what customer wait time is, but what really matters is what is the response that you're getting. Just measuring service and repair tickets, even if you process them efficiently, doesn't mean that you're getting your problem fixed. And one of the issues that we pointed out was that we need much more data about that. Actually, the city is going to be launching a new system to keep track of actual results. That's something the mayor's been very committed to as well. And that's going to, I think, be revolutionary as opposed to just measuring how long you're on the phone waiting.
We're talking with the city controller for Los Angeles, Ron Galperin. Now, can you walk me through, when you issue a report like this that clearly and specifically identifies problems, it's not just, looking for problems for the sake of being negative, but we allegedly do these things so that we can make things better. What happens to this report? Who is does it goes to the city council and it goes to the mayor, and then what?
Well, what we seek to do is actually do a number of things before we even issue the report, because we go over the draft report with the auditee, and in this case it was with the Information Technology Agency, and we review with them all the various findings and recommendations of the report and give them a chance to weigh in on that, because we don't want to come up with a plan for fixing things that is then going to not actually happen. And to their credit, I have to say, they've already started, based on this, implementing a number of changes, recognizing that change is absolutely needed. Also, we reviewed it with others in the city, including those who have committees that are going to be looking at this, because we want to make sure that things actually get implemented. It doesn't mean much if you have a great audit that then doesn't get implemented.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's, we've seen so many reports go where reports go to die. They get handed in and they make a news story for a day or so, and then you never hear about them again. I mean, that's my fear about the LA 2020 Commission, that it's just sort of, thank you for your time and your effort, now go away. I know that with you on it, that won't happen because you are like a dog with a bone on these things, which is good. We need that. Now, with that said, real quick, where do we stand on getting the financial records from the DWP and from the IBEW?
Well, as I think you know, and as many of the listeners know, the Superior Court, actually ordered compliance by IBEW and by Brian Darcy with the subpoenas that my office served. Rather than comply, Mr. Darcy decided to file an appeal. There's a very temporary stay that has been put on us actually being able to enforce those subpoenas, but it's a pretty short window for briefings to be filed. So on May the 19th, the city will file its response, and on May the 28th, Darcy and IBEW files it, and then sometime in June we anticipate we will have an answer on at least the stay portion of it.
Well, listen, we'll obviously be following that very closely. Mr. Galperin, thank you so much. We always appreciate you coming on. Ron Galperin, City Controller for the City of L.A.